What is going on, guys? Welcome to the final episode of our Big 12 Team Builder off-season in year number 4. We're going to be heading into year number 5 here this week, Friday and Saturday. So those are when games are going to be up on your screen. But you will notice we are revealing the recruits here today.
This will be a lot of fun. We only had a handful of players make it, so if your guy didn't get in, don't take offense to it. It's not personal. It's all randomized except for the contest winners, so it's just how the way it's going to go. And let's get into it. Let's see our first recruit here. We have Alexis Finkbeiner, who was the product of an artificial insemination pregnancy. It's a little different. His name was Alexis, but he eventually got his name changed because he didn't like the name. I don't know why his parents went with that.
I don't know.
But he really hated his name, because it's a girl's name. So he just switched it to his favorite quarterback, Matthew Stafford, which I don't know why he's your favorite player, but be that as it may.
I'm against Matthew Stafford as well. Makes no sense. You like grindy quarterbacks? That's your gig. But Alexis Finkbeiner, he's kind of got a little Andrew Luck in him.
Here's Taylor Mickens out of Trussville, Alabama. Kind of an interesting prospect. He's a bit of a scrambler. He's got a weak but accurate arm. Possible injury concerns in his senior year of high school, or his junior year rather. So he's coming off an injury. People don't know how durable he's going to end up being.
Quarterback Jarvis Humphreys. This is a big-time quarterback from Louisiana. He's a Skeeters fan. And guys, you're going to love this because why not announce the special thing that's never been done before on this channel? It's a collaboration. And you might be asking yourselves, how are you going to collab with a player that's in your universe, Gold? Well, guess what? That's why we're bringing on Cr8ght Games. He is going to be doing a Road to Glory with Jarvis Humphreys. And you guys are going to be able to go watch his Road to Glory through high school and see those stats get piled up, who's going to be recruiting him, things like that you can check out on this channel. So that's how this whole thing is going to work for the story of Jarvis Humphreys. You can follow along in his high school career. What are some things that he's going to be have to worry about as he's starting to get recruited? Is he going to face an injury? All these types of things. It's going to be a living, breathing type of series on his channel. It's going to coincide with our timeline for our Team Builder series as well. So every Tuesday, Cr8ght is going to post a video for Jarvis's Road to Glory. And then you come back here on Wednesdays where we can actually talk about some things that Jarvis might be experiencing in those weeks.
Very exciting news.
Yeah.
He's a cool YouTuber, right?
He's cool.
He's good. He gets the GG9 stamp of approval.
GG9 stamp of approval. He's a good one. If you guys have not checked him out yet, please do so. Link is in the description. Next one up is going to be Malik Ford. So thank you for Bo Big, HHB, for submitting this recruit. Malik Ford is a running back, 6 foot tall, 210 pounds. He was one of the top athletes from the state of course, another Louisiana product, lettering in football and track. Very highly recruited by the Louisiana State University Tigers.
Former Broken Arrow head coach Alfred Johansson, very interested.
Yes, that is very true. And they had to back off of him because he didn't seem to take football too seriously. He injured his ACL in a basketball game, a pickup basketball game. He wasn't able to commit anywhere. So he was able to sit out. He's now a sophomore, so he's technically a JUCO sophomore. And he's
Shreveport right now is looking like they got some guys on their board.
Next running back up, Mateo Garcia, big-time running back out of Texas. He's more that power type of back out of Texas. Led his team to the Texas high school playoff semifinals. Failed to make it farther due to lack of talent on the team.
And now we have Nigel Cotton, although I want to call him Niall Cotton. I just think it sounds cooler.
Yeah.
To me, he's Niall Cotton.
Yeah, post it in the comments there, Chad. Chad Masterson, thank you for this submission, and congrats on being selected.
Yeah, he's got about 93 speed.
Wide receivers, baby. David Simile, thank you for this submission. Kentrell Huggins out of Houston, Texas. He's a fast wide receiver at 6'1", 195. He's kind of that track star, that track runner. Tyreek Hill was the player comparison.
Let's check out Gavin Garland here out of Midland, Texas. So where do you think he's going to be looking at? Looks like he's got very good route running. He's good with the jump balls, and in a passing offense like Midland State, he's going to be heavily recruited.
Standing at 5'9", 190 pounds, slot receiver Oliver Price. And this will be David Price's brother, the linebacker for Ardmore. So he is now coming over, and he is available for the picking.
Also related to Shane Price.
Shane
From
Price.
ACU. I can't keep track of the Price family tree at this point.
We got Austins, we got Prices.
I'm lost, but this contest winner, yo boy.
All right, shout out here to DeFanny. Congratulations on winning this prize to get your Nathan Arbaugh tight end into the series. 6'11". 6'11". Tight end. He is huge. So congratulations to Braden Austin for a prize that he ended up winning back in year 3. So I did have to owe him this one. And it's going to be another Austin into this Big 12 Team Builder series. Braxton Austin Jr., the head coach at Odessa now. And there's a little bit of nepotism going on here. Is he gonna end up committing to Odessa?
Probably, but I mean, Braxton's also a very highly sought after recruit, so no guarantee that he goes to Odessa State, but you would think that's where the smart money is going to be. Cameron Shellnut out of Wichita, he's listed at 6'7", 306, so he's looking like a big-time run blocker.
He's a big boy. Here we have Antonio Tecalande, the defensive tackle, 6'7", 304. And this submission from Rob Farrell, he's been a longtime subscriber. And the background for Tecalande, he grew up in the Bahamas, and he ended up moving to Mississippi to get a chance at being recruited in the U.S. Of course, being fairly quick at 6'7" and 304 kind of surprised some people. So that is really the story on Tecalande, is how is he going to go into this freshman season and adapt to the college game is totally different than high school.
From Hudson, he has submitted Levi Rabal. He's a defensive tackle, and he is kind of a farm guy, kind of outside the Omaha area. So we're looking at, could be a Nebraska State guy, but he's also kind of a Nebraska guy. So it's going to be a little bit weird. You know, there's going to be a lot on the line in that rivalry game that we play. From contest winner Portugal, we have Daniel Monroe, defensive end, one of the top prospects in the nation. He comes from Washington, the state of Washington, transferred to Texas to pursue his football dreams. So he's trying to go for, kind of play at a higher level. Here we have Jordan Lashley, nicknamed the Sydney Psycho, has moved to the United States out of Australia. So the Australia product is a big hitter.
He's a big hitter. From a viral video that went all over YouTube, apparently. Derek Burns from Elnora Mac. Middle linebacker, 6'4", 245. He's going to be a good one.
Out of St. Louis, Missouri. So he's looking to play in that Big 12 East division, maybe. Antonio Miles Jr. out of Columbus, Georgia. So we're going to have to go head-to-head with the SEC here in recruiting. But for some reason, he was always a big-time Nebraska State fan, and he is not really in love with Ardmore. So it'd be interesting to see what he's looking at as far as recruiting goes. Something tells me that Georgia, Alabama, Florida State are going to be hot on this guy's tail out of Columbus, Georgia. So we're going to have to poach him.
Yeah, and it's pretty funny. The wording that Antonio Miles actually used was despise. It's not just, it doesn't just not like Ardmore, he despises Ardmore. Jamal Young, a cornerback, but he's labeled as a safety. He is a little bit slower as a corner, so we ended up moving him to safety. If Jacob Stork, if you want us to move him back to corner, we can do that. We're just making up a storyline here because we goofed on this one.
That's my fault. But he did tore his ACL. He's coming off a torn ACL. So he can play both.
The last recruit is going to be an athlete, Demarion Foreman. He's going to be really good wide receiver, I think. He's 6'4", 219. He grew up in a crime-filled neighborhood. He could barely go outside most of the time. That changed when they ended up moving to Alabama. And being the big-time athlete that he is, we probably have to worry about Alabama trying to scoop this guy up.
Well, it's 6'4", 219 right now. He's listed at running back, which is interesting. But obviously, he'll be able to play both. Can play a little bit of quarterback, but he's not a huge prospect at that position. So they want to use his skills at halfback or wide receiver.
With the recruit reveal in the books, time to take a look at some red shirting of our players. And you guys can see right up here on the screen, David Tomsha, the true freshman, 80 overall, not going to be redshirted in this lineup, in this roster. Not going to do it. He's got 90 speed. We're going to be trying to use David Tomsha as we use John Hicks in his freshman season the same way. We've got a pocket passer with Grayson Stanfield. He's got 77 speed, so he can run a little bit, but we're going to try to open it up through the air raid a little bit more with Stanfield. Just a little bit more.
Yeah.
But we want to use Tomsha to his ability.
I like that call. Little alarming, the lack of depth at running back. We're going to use this as an opportunity to also kind of look how the roster and the depth chart sort of shakes out. But Terrence Ross will redshirt there. You're going to have Terrell redshirt, but no Willie Nelson or Eric Daniel, which is an interesting thought there. Offensive line doesn't look too bad. You know, we made a little bit of a hullabaloo about that, but I think you can get by with that. Quentin Booker.
We'll get by. Yeah, this is a really tough decision for us to make. 6'5", 249. This guy is going to be a really good player for us down the line. I hope that he doesn't transfer, but there's really no playing time, and I would rather take the risk on, redshirting him here. Hopefully he comes back to about an 83 in his freshman redshirt season, and then that way you've got Cooper and Booker at that left end spot. Obviously, Cooper being a 5-star athlete that he came over from a year ago. But there's just no spots for him. And you guys look at the right end. You saw the D-tackle line. The defensive line right now for Ardmore is looking pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Linebackers still pretty solid with Jacobs and Warren and Price. And we're not going to give a red shirt out to Chauncey Nelson, the freshman at 6'4". So this guy is going to be a good one, 80 speed. I want to get him into some packages on defense. We're still running that 3-4. He will be utilized.
All right, yeah. And, a true freshman here, Josh Miller. Not going to redshirt him as he's going to be your number 3 cornerback, so you should see plenty of playing time there. And then Mark Williams will do it for the Thunderwolves. So new head coach here, Clint Langford, being promoted from the offensive coordinator position. So really not much is going to change. Probably not much with respect to our redshirting philosophy. It's going to kind of be, if we can redshirt you, we will type of deal. The question, though, we're thinking about Ronnie Rouse. Do we want to keep him active this year?
It's tough, man. It's tough. 95 speed. He's the fastest guy on the roster.
He's up there, but Robert Walker's been in the system. I would feel bad if I, stuck Walker as our number 7 guy.
He's kind of a freak. 6'5", 227, and 93.
Yeah, I would feel bad about that. But I don't know. Maybe we'll just have to rotate more guys. I think I got to play Ronnie Rouse. I'd probably scare him away like a little prairie dog getting chased by a coyote or something. But Dan Pennington, we will redshirt there, true freshman. So might have to mix things up a little bit on the offensive line, but we're lacking some depth there in a big way. Tidwell, we're going to redshirt, also redshirt for Fowler and Rivero. Brits, we will redshirt. We're going to try to mix in Danger somehow. A little custom recruit bias going on there. But we will try to get him involved in some capacity on the defense. So McGrew will redshirt. Cornerback is alarmingly thin. We got to play this dude who's a Russian, basically.
Zemaladchikov?
Yekaterina Zolojikov.
Mother Russia.
Yeah, so this will be interesting. We're just going to call him Zamo.
Zamboni.
Man. East, I saw East make like 1 tackle that was meaningful last year. I mean, he's going to see a big bump in usage there. He's going to see a way more responsibility. And then we have custom recruit Joe Sloan and custom recruit Eric Washington, both of whom redshirted last year. So hopefully they know the defense under coordinator Mark Stoops.
Looking at the redshirting screen here, there's a lot of decisions that may need to be made for the future success of this program. Orpheus McConnell not being redshirted because he is by and far the primary backup at a 90 to Joe Russell 99.
He played pretty well in relief too, so he can't do much there. Interesting dilemma at running back though. And you could accuse us again of hashtag custom recruit bias, but Hassan Bonner at 97 speed, 95 acceleration, 94 agility, I think he has to be possibly the starter because Danowski is a power back.
It doesn't really fit their offense and what they're trying to do.
Yeah, like an elusiveness way up for Hassan Bonner. I mean, he's got the stiff arm. This guy, I mean, Danowski's very good, actually, 94 carry. So you're going to have to get him plenty of touches as well. But I'm trying to find the catching.
Actually, did you see that? He was actually an athlete. You guys saw the throw power there, 84, 82. So, hey, why don't they start running some flea flicker?
Some Wildcat or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Danowski as a receiver, Bonner is basically just as good. So I think maybe you might see some 1A, 1B action this year. Probably Bonner mixed in with Danowski. And Danowski's too powerful, I think, to not be a focal point of this offense.
Yeah, on like third down in long situations or long yardage situations, you definitely, like a 1st and 10, you're going with Bonner because you want to get that big explosion play.
Right.
3rd and 2s, go with Danowski for sure.
Probably a good idea. We're going to have to redshirt Armani Roussel just because ACU is too deep at wide receiver. Roussel just has no path to playing time. This is a vulnerable offensive line. I mean, you could hurt this team with a big-time pass rush. So you're thinking of that ACU Ardmore matchup down the road. I think advantage Ardmore.
You would think a national title rematch.
Yeah, and this is prior to our freshman renaming, so we will have some different names here. But these are right now the people that we will be redshirting. A couple defensive ends there, a couple tackles here. Gonna let Billy Campbell, in quotes, air quotes, Billy Campbell.
Yep.
Actually, it'll be in brackets. Insert name for
here.
Billy Campbell here. And looking again, we're gonna let this Logan dude play. I mean, this guy was fickle, man. This guy was hard. He did not even want to come here, but eventually talked him into it. I guarantee if you redshirted him, he's out the door.
Oh yeah,
Guaranteed.
he'd go to school like FAU or something.
Or Tennessee, probably. I mean, he's that good. I mean, he could pick wherever he wanted to play. And so we'll have Bell redshirt. I mean, pretty good at safety, but like our incoming freshman class was not very good for ACU in the secondary. So Brock Musselman's crew here. Interesting situation at quarterback.
Yeah, Nate Galveston's been in the program for quite some time. I believe it was Chicago Ranger was the subscriber that had put him in. I haven't seen a whole lot of him lately.
Number one recruit. He also has Joe Russell to his.
It's been a while for him to see the productivity for Nate Galveston. So this is the year he's finally going to get it. And Justin Davis right behind him at 84. He's kind of pushing him a little bit as a freshman redshirt. But you got to go with the guy that's been here for a little while that knows the deal here in Amarillo. So nothing to worry about for running backs and quarterbacks, fullbacks, wide receivers. You could possibly use some red shirts, and we do. Antoine Mills down there, and then Kyle Palmer as well. Other than that, wide receiver is stacked for this Musselman offense. Dustin Jackson here at 55. That's just more of a depth type of move.
Yeah, Marquardt gonna start there.
Yeah, there's there's nothing else that backup can do to catch him. So
yeah, so 2 starting freshman tackles, so they will not have to burn any of those red shirts there. And they're going to let Matt Douglas play as well as Joey Moore. So they're going to have a couple true freshman defensive ends pitching in here as well. And Frank Larson starting. So some of these recruits that we've been talking about all year long going to be contributing right away. Chuck Perry out of Oklahoma is another guy. They will redshirt these 3 guys. Juice Robinson will redshirt custom recruit there. Sangster's back for another year. And then you got Freddie Bolden, who was an Ardmore possibility a few years ago. Big year here for new head coach Tim Lester. So the big question here is who was going to take over the number 2 role for Uba. And it looks like they're going to roll with Buster Smith and let Chad Masters sit this one out. I think it's the right call. Masters was sort of developmental I don't want to use that word as a slight because, I mean, he's got the potential. And Lester's a quarterback guy, so I think Lester can work with him. Maybe just let Lamont Christian play and see if it clicks this year.
Yeah, he's got his hands fit to be tied here. He's got his work cut out for him. Hopefully that this project is going to work.
Yeah. Running back looks pretty solid. No red shirts there. Same with wide receiver. So a bit more experience this year for this team. They are going to let Raul Braga play. He's going to be the number 2 tight end behind Quincy Booth, who's been at this for a little bit. Only has 7 catches, but he's been around. I've seen him out there. Offensive line.
I would definitely expect some more 2 tight end sets. Try to help this offensive line out with some blocking because it's not a very super talented offensive line right now either. So kind of help Lamont Christian grow in that role a little bit.
Yeah, Socrates Fortlow going to play, going to get mixed in on the rotation. Might see defensive tackle time possibly. I mean, Paris Gatewood and Tyler Ralph aren't that amazing. But, you know, that's a possibility. Steve Thompson going to contribute. You got a red shirt at middle linebacker. Owens red shirting. Quarterback down at the bottom. These quarterbacks are all coming back next year. You see freshman, sophomore. Paul Campbell going to have to start as a true freshman with Faintest 9 out of the picture this year. He's playing for Odessa State.
Faintest is a quitter.
So interesting call for Denver Tech this year. Andre Brandt will beat out Bobby Greer for the number 2 slot because this guy looks like he's an athletic freak. I mean, he came in as an athlete, did redshirt last year. They're going to do the same for Nathan Stevens.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious to me. An 82 freshman with that much speed. Well, redshirt freshman, but still, the point remains. The guy's going to be really good. Running back, nothing really to mention here. We do have some pretty decent freshmen here at wide receiver. Ricky Young and Singleton at 72-68. They are going to redshirt for Denver Tech. And then we got a double tight end, 2 freshmen there.
Offensive line might have to move some stuff around because the left tackle and the right guard situation. Those guys will not be the starters, obviously, but Denver Tech, much like ACU, going to be thinner on the offensive line than what we're used to. And, I mean, the depth, I'm not totally sure if it's going to be there. You know, I see defensive tackle is one of those positions that is set. I mean, we got the redshirt Cody Morgan as a 79. Got a couple good young players at linebacker as well. Chris Moore is a guy everybody's really excited about. Then you have, I mean, but like 62, you know, I don't know. It's a couple weaker prospects, but Dodds and Brown.
93, 94, those are only going to go up too. They could probably get up to where Prater's at a 98 speed.
Yeah, I was thinking these guys could be factors at cornerback as a backup, but I mean, we have somebody like Michael Jones here who's going to hold the fort probably as the number 5 guy, Ricky Carey, maybe like the nickel back. So I think they're fine there. They can afford to redshirt these guys. Hopefully we don't piss them off. Yada, yada, yada.
How is Kansas A&M going to move past and get past the fact that despite no change at the head coaching position after losing, how many games was it? 7 games in a row?
5-0.
And they lost 7 in a row after that. So a roller coaster of a season. How is this Kansas A&M football team going to go into this year 5? How is head coach Warner going to use the players at his disposal for this season? So we see that Johnny Rice, the quarterback, the freshman from Gladstone, Michigan, 66 overall quarterback here, probably the guy of the future.
No, probably not.
I think he'd be the guy of the future. He's got a red shirt right now.
He's a backup.
Oh, man. You watch. You guys wait. Johnny Rice. He's got a football last name. He's going to be good.
What do you think about Harold Reed, where he fits on the depth chart? I'm feeling like he could get thrown in maybe as a number 3 back, but I do expect him to play this year after taking a red shirt.
Yeah, I think with that 88 speed, he's obviously the second fastest running back in this entire group. The acceleration at an 89, so he's second in that as well. Definitely a very good running back. He offers a little bit more electricity, a little more juice, more athleticism here outside of Watson and Cobb. But when we look at Bellamy and Flores, they're your top 2 guys. Wallace Daniel is getting the red shirt as well. So Camu really likes to invest in their younger running backs into this system.
Yeah. Keenan Kirkland taking over the fullback role. No more Sidney Layton, obviously. Receivers, they'll have all these guys back, but, I mean, it's a little shallow. Watson going to redshirt. They're going to have Slater redshirt. Offensive line, we made a big fuss about the future of it, but there's a couple weak spots there. Seal's going to redshirt. We got a couple options at defensive tackle. We're just going to let those guys play. Barrett, going to let him figure things out on the fly. Brown and McGee at cornerback. Chambers, just going to keep him around. Evangelo Jones still hanging around there. Did not really play last year. He'll probably contribute more this year behind Dallas Wright and kind of get worked in. You can see custom recruit Evangelo Jones.
Perhaps one of the hottest teams as far as topics go, and one of the hottest teams for recruit destinations is Little Rock. Looking at LeQuentin Evans here at an 83, and we have some breaking news. Dun, 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 dun. LeQuentin Evans is actually going to be the number 2 quarterback ahead of Brooks Tompkins, so he ended up winning the job. So sucks for Brooks Tompkins, but it's just not really fitting, man. It's not really fitting with what Little Rock's trying to do.
Well, it was very hard fought.
There was hard fought.
Reports from camp, it could have gone either way, but obviously Buddy Monroe is going to be biased towards his fresh, shiny new toy here in LeQuentin Evans. So good news about having all this depth at running back, too, is you get to redshirt some of these guys. So custom recruit Ranger Green will be redshirting this year. At wide receiver, Keneal Mason, and, hashtag custom recruit bias again.
Yep.
We were thinking about Mason maybe sliding in over Bridges as a number 3 guy.
He's a 79, so don't take too much stock into the overall rating there, guys. It's mostly about what is this player, despite that rating, going to give you on Saturdays. And we can see that the speed is well above Bridges at a 91. The agility is really what I'm looking at, too. Look at the agility from all these receivers. They're not even close to Keneal Mason at 92.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's able to bring that into the slot is only going to help out Gunnar Rivers. And if we remember, Lonnie Luke was not that big of a receiver. He was mostly in that Keneal Mason type of mold. So maybe Rivers just really likes those types of receivers. It really complements Jason Wilson there at the number 1.
I said definitely get Keneal Mason on the field, so no red shirt for Keneal Mason. Lambert's going to redshirt. Get a couple red shirts on the offensive line there because they're just a little bit lower on the depth chart. I think that's a good call. Jamie Dixon, redshirt. Brett Johnson. So Williams got a couple more guys. We're going to let middle linebacker Andy Keller play out of Michigan. How about Lee Elliott? What do you say?
I say let's do it. Let's put that red shirt on him. Slap it on him.
Slap it on.
We've got some depth there at strong safety, at free safety. Some guys that can come down and play that cornerback position. If need be, they're still good in coverage, so...
McAllen's going to have some interesting choices here, especially at running back. Matt Smith, Josh Taylor. Interesting thoughts here, and the answer is going to be no red shirt on either of these guys because we don't want to chase them off, and I just think that they have enough skill to really contribute, even if they're the 3rd running back. I mean, Wade with that 99 acceleration, and I mean, Wade is going to be... I mean, you're going to want Wade and Buckley.
Yeah, that's a huge 1-2 punch right there. So, kind of taking a little bit of a page out of Ardmore's playbook.
Yeah, the question, though, is who's going to win the 3rd job? Is it going to be Taylor or Smith?
They're really close. They're both really close.
Yeah, very young receiving crew as well, so they're going to afford to redshirt Calhoun. Gene Scott. Very good offensive line, by the way. So McAllen, I say watch out for them. You got Covington going to redshirt.
That Leroy Jackson offense loves their offensive line and good running backs.
Yeah, Jeremy Allen will get the starting nod as a true freshman there. A couple linebackers there. Doherty with the red shirts. Larry Covington got injured. He's hurt.
I love how we're just, hey, we're doing that.
Yeah, he's in here. What else?
Medical red shirt.
Yeah, what else can you say? Ed Small will beat out James Bennett. So even though Bennett played last year, got 2 tackles.
Woohoo!
I think the right call here is to just let Small play. Might as well just keep Bennett around with the red shirt. Same goes for Rodney Evans. The question, to be or not to be. That is the question. No, the question is whether or not Claude Gray is going to redshirt.
And out of camp, they've spotted through these unbelievable binoculars.
Bill Belichick or something?
Yeah, Spygate all the way. So all the way out there, just Spygating the crap out of Midland State. We got to scout these guys for our matchup between them if we play them this year. You know what I mean? So early reports. Claude Gray is working as the potential solution at quarterback once Cr8ght Collins is gone. That much we know. He wouldn't have moved over to quarterback if that wasn't the case. While learning that on the side, he's mostly going to be used as a wide receiver. He will be in wide receiver packages, maybe as the third or the fourth wide receiver. And once we get to that positional group, you guys will see why. But we see Cr8ght Collins as a junior. If he goes to the NFL this year, they don't have an answer at quarterback. So
problem is, like,
that's a problem.
So Gray could not beat out Derek Dawson. I mean, he's a redshirt senior. He's a pretty good quarterback in his own right. He could probably start for 45 other teams in the country. So, I mean, good player at this point in his career. But, you know, Gray had no chance as a true freshman learning the offense, learning how to play quarterback at the college level.
Yep.
So the question's going to be where to use him. And like you said, I'm thinking at the wide receiver spot, because we'll see here after Storm, there's a pretty big drop-off. They like Colby Austin a little bit. You know, he is a renegade Austin brother, as we have discussed in the past. However, I mean, it's pretty thin. I think Cr8ght Collins would like to have the weapons that Whiteside had last 2 years. So you might see Claude Gray check in there at the 4 spot.
They're going to be asking a lot of that freshman. He's got to learn the campus life. He's got to learn how to move on from high school academia. You know, it's going to be a lot put onto that freshman Claude Gray. Yeah. So if he ends up making it and he's a good player, he could be a campus legend.
Yep, sounds good. Cedric Taylor here, a true freshman out of Louisiana, who's going to see a lot of playing time. Might even start over John Weber. I think that's a decent possibility. D'Anthony Okobo was recruited as a middle linebacker, as a JUCO, redshirted out of junior college. Will switch over to play left linebacker. I think Midland might be looking at a switch here to a 3-4. I think that would be the smart move with the linebacker depth and the thin look here at defensive tackles. So the cornerback group is looking good. Everybody redshirted besides Hall and Pierre last year. So
man, that's so, like, sophomores at 84.
Yeah,
96, 97, they're going to stick on receivers like glue.
Yeah, they're going to be good, and we're going to let Everett play, and that's just going to be how it goes for Midland.
Ooh, the question. Now, we were talking about Midland State having questions. What are they going to do in Odessa about the quarterback spot?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that later. We might have to watch the quarterback battle play out, but I know we were talking about it, but I think Johnson's the better passer, man.
But look at the progression that Dowdell has shown.
What progression?
86 and 86. That's passable.
Yeah.
That's the ratings that he has.
I mean, he's
86, 86.
% completion.
That's not good, but he's more athletic.
Yeah.
And he's just behind Johnny Johnson Jr. with the throw power and the throw accuracy. Yeah. So
I'm not sure.
It's up for grabs.
Let's see how Orlando Austin rates out here. Here's the problem with Orlando Austin. The catching. He's got 47 catching.
Yeah, and there's reports out there that Braxton Austin is trying to implement a little bit more balance here in Odessa.
Yeah.
And to the fans, they don't like it.
Well, I mean, also reports Braxton is very upset with his attitude in practice. Like, he's been dropping passes, his head's not in the game, and he's chewed him out in front of his teammates, and there's a little bit of tension going on there. But the good news is, surprisingly, Braxton is not being nepotistic here.
That's very surprising.
That's very interesting to me, because that's what the thought of is. You know, everybody thinks that it's a whole big Austin party, and you're not in it.
It's a family reunion.
But, you know, he's been pretty hard on Orlando. Maybe he's making an example of him.
Could be. Maybe it's all just a big ploy.
It's all Machiavellian. They're in on it together. They're just using it to guard against those accusations. Be like, well, look, how can you say I have favoritism when I'm yelling at my own?
Yeah, but when they go back home, they're sipping on some wine.
Probably.
Yeah. Hey, Orlando, 93 speed, 70 strength. Probably really their best overall back as far as power goes. As a pure runner, Orlando Austin is the best guy. And, him dropping passes, you would think, you're too good for this, man. What are you doing?
Yeah. Guy Edwards going to redshirt here. Is a good receiving crew as well. And I think we'll have Childs Harris maybe a little bit higher on the depth chart. But, I mean, these guys are pretty good. Paris Austin checking in at a 98. We're going to let Wyatt play. Let's look at the offensive line. No red shirts there, really, except for that one.
More reason why you need Dowdell to play quarterback, because he can run out of that.
Maybe. Checking out the defensive tackles here. I think the unit's looking pretty good. Aaron Whitaker, probably going to have to redshirt him. I'm going to let Sam Dowdell play. I was thinking about redshirting there. Quarterback depth is not very good right now, but they got a ton of safeties, and they got some guys with a little bit of speed. Faintest 9 checking in here at 223, so he might start over John Miller, who's been like a 3-year starter, basically, for Odessa State. So, again, they're also talking about 4-2-5, maybe. If they would go 4-2-5, I mean, they might have to have Drew Howe out there, but they could also let Faintest be the rover, so they might have a little bit of different defensive package this year. It'll be interesting to see what they decide to do.
All right, and everybody's seemingly favorite team here, the Shreveport Skeeters. Junior Cash will be taking a red shirt amongst a loaded quarterback group as far as upperclassmen are concerned. This is a good group of quarterbacks, but they haven't found the one. Kerry Ashley up to a 91. They're going to wait till next season, though, because right now they've got Rasheed Davis, the transfer from CAMU, as trying to lead them to a bowl game.
What I like about Junior Cash's situation here is that these guys are going to be gone in 2 years.
Correct.
So the question is Shreveport going to find somebody better than Cash? If they don't, he's got a pretty good situation on his hands. He could become like a 3-year starter.
Right.
That's a very good possibility for him.
Some consistency there.
Yeah. Checking out some more red shirts here. You're going to have Eric Thompson play. Nick Jones will take a red shirt. You're going to need Ollie Fuller. I think he's going to have to be big for you guys.
Oh, yes. The 2 tight end sets for them. This is a big thing. After losing Jay Ballmer to Odessa, he does have to sit out a season at Odessa. But it's a good thing to see that they have 2 young, athletic tight ends. I mean, look at the agility here and the speed, the strength. They can do it all. They can receive. They can block. It's a good thing. Get Boone Lawson out of there. The center, get him out of playing tight end, okay? we don't need that. We don't need that.
But maybe they need him back this year.
I don't know. Stick him at center.
Well,
he's got 81 speed. He can get to that second level.
Ashley was a huge bust in recruiting. Ethan King held serve. He's a 72. I think Ethan King might get mixed in here on the offensive line. It was a good offensive line for Shreveport. Brandon Bell with the red shirt there. No redshirt contributors at defensive tackle or linebacker. Tyler Dykes, you think he's going to start over Baker? And both these guys have pretty good futures, but you also have Bud Light Gunner here.
Yeah, it's a nice group of defensive players here for Shreveport. I think they're all going to play. They're all going to contribute. We've got Tyler Akonma, probably not going to get the start here. Someone's going to have to move over from middle linebacker over to outside, and it's probably going to be Dykes. Honestly.
Yeah, it could be. Looking at the list here, you don't have Hancock or Lemon. What do you want to do?
Yeah, they are going to play.
You gonna let Larry Lemon play?
They are going to play. They want to see what they have going into the next year.
Okay, Jafari Okoye, interesting. Problem is, I mean, he plays the same position as Bradica, and they had Jordy Davis last year, who was a big recruit, so tough to find playing time immediately for Okoye.
Yes, and now we want to look at one other thing. Go to wide receivers, please. I want to look at Canatella, the former quarterback, the embattled quarterback at Shreveport. He's now worked out. He did his thing. He's up to an 83 speed, so he's the slowest wide receiver, but he did work his tail off to get more agile. We've got the custom schedules here. We're revealing them now.
Oh boy.
Ardmore comes first. We're taking on Texas at their place, pretty much. Location. It's in Texas.
But Ardmore's pretty close to Dallas.
That's true.
It's a little drive down the intrastate.
The old intrastate. But we're taking on Texas, an unranked Texas. I don't know what they really look like as far as what their talent is like, what their skill level's like. I would assume it's going to be a pretty good team. They're kind of getting the shaft here to be not ranked. That would be my first assumption, but
yeah, I'm sure they're an A game. I'm sure they're an A or an A plus. But they just don't happen to have the record from last year. So this will be a good challenge for you. And then you take on rival Oklahoma State this year at home. You guys alternate between Oklahoma State every year. So that'll be good. And then you get Cincinnati, Louisiana Tech to wrap things up in the non-conference schedule.
It seems like we have kind of a Michigan Wolverines schedule right here. We've got 2 bye weeks, and then we have all of our games at home until conference play starts.
It's a neutral game.
That's true.
But, you just won the national title, so you don't have to go on the road to play Cincinnati or something like that.
We earned that.
You don't have to do that.
Take a look here. Odessa State and Ardmore kicking it off. So all this talk in Odessa State right now, all this stuff with Paris Austin and Darnell Savage going at it, this one is going to be a good one for me personally, because I think I want to destroy Odessa State. I just want to put them back to where they belong.
In their place?
And put them back in their place.
Well, you're going to have to go at Denver Tech next week. And then you have the long-awaited return of the Brothers Bowl. It's been a year.
You know what? This is a really tough opening part of the conference season.
Oh, yeah.
Odessa, who's on the upswing. Denver Tech, who's always good. Always a thorn on our sides. And then we get you guys, and then after that, we get Little Rock. This isn't easy, guys.
No, it's not. And the very first let-up, maybe, because we don't know how Shreveport's going to look. They have your former associate head coach calling plays now for them.
Right.
Who's now the associate head coach and offensive coordinator for Shreveport, Ryan Killian. So we're going to talk about Shreveport's new playbook as well. So, man, he might have that inside info on you. McAllen's got the rushing game. Okay, broken arrow. Now we're talking layup.
It's a freaking gauntlet at this point. And then the very last game of the season, we have a rematch. How crazy is this? We have a rematch of the national championship game going up against ACU the last week of the year. This could easily determine who goes to that conference championship game again.
Okay, so maybe not quite as tough as Ardmore's. I don't know.
No, probably
But we're going to start off with Utah State. Nice little intro game. For the new look Prairie Dogs, we basically had to rehaul the defense this year and rehaul the offensive line. I think we should handle Utah State, but you never know about these things. Then we have to go at Nebraska. Tough game here. Always tough game to go out to Fresno.
Oh, for sure.
That checkerboard end zone. 10 p.m. Eastern time kickoff. It's always interesting.
Grindy game.
Always going to be tough. And Purdue is going to come back to Grand Island. If you guys recall, they have to finish their home-and-home agreement from year number 1. We went at Purdue and beat them, and we flipped Cole Herman into
oblivion,
the Milky Way galaxy. Okay, he was spun around and it created a wormhole. Okay, Little Rock here. We're gonna. I hate playing Little Rock. How many times have we lost to them? Like 3 times.
I don't think you've beaten them.
I think we're 0-3.
Especially with a 99 Gunner Rivers right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard. And then we go at ACU, at Ardmore. Okay, now we're getting tough. Host Odessa State. We go at Camu, who's going to be hungry for some W's. Host Midland, at Amarillo. Host Denver. So I don't know. With the way our defense is, I don't know if this is the year, and it sucks because it's Shanoski's senior year. I don't know if this is going to be it.
Why do you and I get ACU the last game of the year, and then you get Denver Tech the last game of the year?
I don't know. I don't make these schedules.
Let's take a look at ACU's schedule, and of course it is an A strength of schedule given their opponents in the Big 12, more than likely because this out-of-conference schedule doesn't look too tough. They get Texas A&M at home.
It's not as tough as it can be. You know, ACU has been playing at these neutral site games for the last 3 seasons, and they rarely have the opportunity to host big-name schools, and it's mostly because of their stadium size. They don't have a huge stadium, so trying to get teams to play at their place is kind of tough, and the TV networks are like, we don't know. But they do get Texas A&M at home this year. I mean, ACU deserves it. I mean, they're the number one freaking team in the country. Even though they don't have a division title, no, scratch that. They have one division title to their credit in our Dynasty, but they are still an elite program.
How are they number one? They lost so much talent.
I think they have enough back. I don't know. I think they're pretty good. Talking about the schedules.
Yeah.
At Boston College, hosting Marshall.
Oh, boy.
You guys remember Marshall was a top 10 football team last year, so you cannot count them out. So, and then Western Kentucky, bit of a layup with 2 bye weeks. So this non-conference schedule, I think, is harder than people might assume, with Marshall probably being a top 25 caliber football team, even though they're not currently ranked there. They're going to go at Amarillo like they do every year. They play Amarillo. I don't know why Amarillo always draws ACU. Beats me. They get us at Denver Tech this year. This is what I like about this. Okay, we get ACU playing Denver Tech.
Yep.
ACU plays us.
Yep.
You play ACU, obviously. You play Denver Tech, and we play each other. Basically, all that means, folks, is that between Nebraska State, Ardmore, Denver Tech, and ACU, there's going to be a couple extra losses thrown into that mix, which could open the door for your favorite CPU program.
That could happen. It could happen. Easily it could happen.
It's a very real possibility. Let's just put it at that. And then at Shreveport, Little Rock, Uba, McAllen, and Ardmore. Okay, Denver Tech time, and they are going to be in the Chick-fil-A kickoff this year against Alabama.
Bama.
Bet you guys want to see this game.
I do. I want to see how Makovich is going to do against Bama.
Yeah, this game will be fun. I mean, finally, a non-conference game where it feels like Denver Tech could lose. Because we haven't really seen that. We've seen them play Oregon and Michigan. And I don't know, I just never had the feeling that Denver Tech was going to blow it. That Wisconsin game in our very first episode.
Yeah, when we were trying to feel out what teams were going to be like. Right. We had no idea.
Wisconsin had Denver Tech on the ropes a little bit, but they pulled away. Ever since then, every non-conference game has been a cakewalk for the Rush. This is going to be a little bit different. Then they have to go at Boise State this year. They've beaten Boise 4 times in a row.
Going to the blue turf, though.
Yeah, and that'll be fun.
It's probably not the same as it used to be, though.
Yeah, they're slipping a little bit. They're still like a B, so you're going to have to be careful. Going to host Kansas, host Rutgers. Good luck, Rutgers.
Good luck, Kansas.
And we talked about this a little bit. I mean, already got Ardmore and ACU on the slate. They got to go at Odessa this year. Is this the year Odessa maybe something happens?
No, not with that quarterback situation. I thought that Cameron Willis or Montana Flynn had better shots.
Okay.
If they can't do it, I don't know how these other guys are going to do it. 7 straight losses, and what's the first thing that Camu does? They take a week off. And then they schedule Duke.
Yeah, we do have like a free bye week for some reason. I mean, so nobody's playing week 6. That way we can just skip over that, get into the meat of the action there. So the Big 12 schedule has no bye week this year. So some teams are taking week 1 off. Some are taking them off here. Camu's just going to get theirs out of the way. What do you think about this game here at Camp Randall?
2 running football teams. And given the fact that Camu's lost that 7 straight games, they'll probably beat Duke to get off the schneid a little bit, but Wisconsin's a good team. And I don't know. I'm already predicting a loss for Camu in this one. I'm already predicting it.
Okay. They're going to have to host McAllen at Midland State.
Camp Randall's tough, man.
Yeah. What do you think about their draw from the East? They get Little Rock, Shreveport, and McAllen. That's about as
easy as it's going to get.
I mean, without Broken Arrow. I mean, excluding that, at least they don't have Ardmore or ACU this
year. I think that they could hold their own against Amarillo. It's not a terrible football team. It's just not as good as Camu used to be. They could hold their own against Amarillo, Nebraska State, Shreveport, and Odessa. So there's a potential 4 wins there if they could get on some kind of miracle run. Should be a fun season for Little Rock. They have week 1 off. Colorado State, Maryland, Indiana, Tulane. That, my friends, sets up for a 4-0 start. And then they head to the bye week, then to Nebraska State, Broken Arrow. it could easily turn into an undefeated season before they get to McAllen in, like you said, the meat of the Big 12 conference season.
I don't know. You might be selling some of these teams short. I mean, I could definitely see Maryland, Indiana kind of have an upset there.
It could happen, but I'm having a little faith.
You know, and then, hey, you can't discount us. You're just giving them the win over us.
Yeah, I have to. They're 3-0 against you.
Okay. They have to go at ACU this year, though. I think it's going to be tough for Garner Rivers to beat ACU again. I mean, we didn't even see that game last year because it was a sim game.
Straight sim.
Okay, and in Houston.
Ooh, yeah. I like these out of conference. I like week 1 already.
Yeah, we have Ohio State taking on McAllen. And I don't know what's going to happen here. I imagine there's going to be a lot of running the football out of the shotgun in this game. That's my prediction. I'm just going on a limb. So number 5 versus number 25. So we're going to have 3 neutral site games this year. Should be fun. Week 2, it's big time rivalry week. We're going to have McAllen play Houston.
Man, McAllen's really going after it.
Yeah, at Louisville. And then they're going to play Tulsa week 5. Open up against Camus. And then play Shreveport. And
Little Rock game is 1 to circle.
Yeah, they do get the Brock Musselman Bowl here again. Hopefully for McAllen, a little better showing this year.
The Kent Collins era is officially kicking off this year against Nevada. And that's a pretty good matchup for Mr. Kent Collins. Big Maple. He's stealing James Paxton's nickname, pitcher for the Yankees. Big Maple. He's a big one. He's a big dude. Yeah. I think I like that matchup against Nevada. And then they take on San Diego State at home. And then they travel to SMU in a Mustang Bowl. And then against Utah at home. So they like these out west conference opponents this year.
Yeah, not too challenging of a schedule. I mean, Utah's going to be their toughest opponent, but it's at home. And then they get Shreveport, Uba, and McAllen out of the East. So, I mean, you see the strength of schedule. They have it rated as a B-.
They only have 2 ranked Big 12 opponents right now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think they have the easiest conference schedule.
They really do. And for a team that's good in the secondary, has a decent defensive line, quarterback is really good, but he is getting his first career start, I guess you would say.
Toughest test, McAllen Denver Tech at home.
Yeah, this kind of lines up for Midland State to have a really good year.
Odessa State, interesting slate this year. Braxton Austin Sr. in his first season. Going to kick off against Vanderbilt. This is a weird...
That's a very
weird game.
Strange matchup.
And then they're going to play UTEP in rivalry week. They're going to go at Notre Dame.
That's suicide.
Wow. So that's going to be our feature game for Odessa this year. And this is interesting because Odessa rarely tries to test themselves in a big way.
Well, it's a new era. Stan Leach is gone and Braxton's in. And you know the Austins, they are not shy of a fight.
No, with the Fighting Irish, they're going to have to not be. They go at Ardmore, so the Ardmore draw is always tough because you're probably going to beat whoever you play. Always tough draw.
Thanks for the confidence. I really appreciate that.
They get Midland at home this year with Nebraska State to follow up. So they do play Denver Tech, Little Rock, Midland at home. Not a bad draw. I mean, it's a lot of the stuff's luck of the draw, and timing. It's all about timing.
Last but not least, Shreveport. And looky what they're going to be doing here in week number 1. They are going out and challenging themselves to determine who is the best in Louisiana. And they're going up against... Okay. Well, they're going up against LSU, an unranked LSU, mind you. We might even see wide receiver Jamil Aziz. We haven't seen that custom recruit in quite a while.
See Alfred Johansson,
yep,
former Big 12 champion head coach. Coached Bryant Street to the Heisman Trophy. Took the job at LSU. So this will be fun. Yeah, this is for supremacy of the state of Louisiana.
And there's a lot to gain because there are a lot of recruits, custom recruits even, from Louisiana. So this will be a big game. I'm pretty sure that they're probably going to be, even though might not be on an official visit, they will definitely be going to this game out in Baton Rouge. Week 2, they get Southern Miss in a rivalry game as usual. Open week here for week 3, Louisiana and then Ball State. So not too tough for Shreveport. They can definitely just kind of hang in there with some of those teams that they're facing off with and out of conference.
They do have Midland State's number for some reason. They've taken Midland to the woodshed a couple times. And McAllen at home.
To be fair, that was years past when Shreveport actually they were doing things.
Yeah, I mean the roster's still pretty similar. I think they didn't catch many breaks last year, but at Ardmore is going to be hard. At Odessa State, they can usually run the ball down Odessa State's throat too. So maybe this year we'll set up a little bit better for the Shreve. Okay, you guys have seen maybe the little numbers up by our teams. Let's take a look at where they rank nationally in the preseason poll. So ACU sits at number 1. North Carolina. They've had a couple of good years.
They got shafted. At least last year they got shafted. They should have been in the championship game, I thought. And now they're up to number 2. So they are getting some respect and some love this season.
Yeah, Denver Tech checking in at 3rd in the nation. Then you get Stanford, Ohio State, a couple Big Ten teams, Bama, Notre Dame. Ardmore and Midland State comes in 10th after a disappointing year last year.
Well, they're on the come-up. Midland State's on the come-up.
That is interesting to me. Little Rock is in 14th. We have, down the way, should be McAllen 25. There's Texas for you, so that answers your question.
So I was right then. So they were just outside of the top 25. And you were right that they're an A overall team. They're not going to be an easy opponent.
Nope, Amarillo would be 27. Marshall there 28. Yeah, Gonsu with our C overall defense.
Top 40 team.
37th in the nation. We are a 5-star program. Moving on up in the world.
Oh, there's Clemson. So now you know why that they were really going after Cust. You guys are in the same vicinity as Clemson.
Yeah.
2 top 40 programs.
How about that? Odessa checks in at 42. Camu at 47 after a losing season last year. And down the list, that should do it, except for Shreveport sitting there at 80th. 3-star program they have fallen down to. They should be last unless Broken Arrow pops up somewhere around here. There they are.
Yeah.
96. They're still holding on to a 4-star though. Preseason Heisman watch here. And Alex Makovich.
It's basically all Big 12 country.
Wow.
I mean, Texas is down there.
Russell, Blair, and Rivers. I love it. So we have 4 senior quarterbacks who are lighting it up. And, John Hicks didn't deliver. He did not deliver last year for the Heisman Trophy.
Well, it was basically that championship game.
Yeah. So this year we got to bring it back home. Quick look here at the All-Americans. Joe Russell is going to lead the way as the top quarterback on the All-NCAA team.
Jason Wilson is going to be first. Well, he's going to be the second wide receiver on the first team.
Tariq
All-NCAA.
Fletcher. We got Pope, Von Borstel, Boris Beef, Jasper Holmes, Apollo Warren, Anthony Jacobs. Are we going to clean sweep? Oh, man.
Especially on defense, man.
I thought we were going to clean sweep this thing.
Cisneros?
Arthur Washington, Prater. Wow. And Jontavius Nichols. Awesome. Second team, we got Makovich and a whole lot of nothing here.
Hey, this Shannon Newberry. You guys remember Newberry? He was one of our recruits that got away from us.
Oh. Really?
Yeah, you remember him?
Yeah.
I wanted him.
Okay.
We couldn't nab him.
Interesting. He's killing it at Navy.
Yeah,
so
1,700 yards.
Wow. He is destroying it at Navy. You got Florencio Woolridge, Friedman Churchwell, Boyd, Andrews, Kelly.
And still no love for Paris Austin. Actually, so there he is. He's on the first team for all Big 12. Is there.
There we go. He's there. 1231. McBride leading the way at tight end. Interesting to see the offensive line. I thought I might see some more McAllen there, but you got one McAllen guy. So all that Ardmore defense all over that. So you got Green and Buckley with Parks and Quan up to 91.
I gotta say, when I'm looking at all of these teams, these first team and second teams, I think that this would be a great all-star roster. I just love all these players.
Ryan Kinney. I thought you were going to do Lion King.
What?
I thought you were going to do the Lion King song.
Here's the new look Shreveport Skeeters offense there, fellas. We've got Rasheed Davis, the quarterback, doing a little... Uh-oh. Okay!
Oh, no!
We're back to where we started.
Let's try it again.
Okay,
it's not working.
Okay, so it's the play.
Are you guys ready for the new look Shreveport offense? Because they're going to be doing more of this again.
More running out of the ace formation.
But they can actually switch it up, and they still want to use their tight ends. But you see here, they're going to try to spread teams out. Oh, frick. Give me a controller. But as you guys can see here, they are going to try to spread teams out a little bit more. You see Rasheed Davis, big dude, but he can use some wheels. Get guys out in space. Let's see what they got up their sleeves here. A little option. A little audible play here, but so they still can go back to the well with the power run game, doing some play actions out of the pocket.
One of my most favorite formations that goes back to the Philadelphia Eagles days in Madden 2004, Madden 2002, the pro set, the 2 running backs in the backfield. I love it. And something just a little bit different too, they are going with the pistol formation 2, and watch this play by Jenkins. We got another Jenkins sighting here, but
Canatella's out there.
Yeah, I wonder if we can start getting him going a little bit. Nope. Oh! Come on, Jake! Okay, so he's showing off a little bit of speed. He does have some really good hands. He's about in the 84 range for catching.
So let's take a little bit of a look here at the playbook, if you guys are interested in that. They got all sorts of wide receiver sets. They got the offset running backs with the tight ends. Got some fullback in there, you know, split big. They got tight ends, fullbacks in the shotgun, unbalanced sets, and tight slots out of the shotgun. So I like that. They still have a heavy package on the goal line. They do the pro formation with the split. They do some wing bone, but they don't do any option out of it. They do some, you know, some funky little handoffs to throw you off. Ace formation. I mean, this is classic Shreveport right here.
Yep. So they're still maintaining some identity about who they are. And this is all Ryan Killian's ideas. He's very innovative, and Tremaine Young had sung his praises and talked very highly of him and being an innovative and bright offensive mind. So maybe Shreveport's going to take that next step with Killian as the OC. And it already looks like they are taking next steps, and he was a major factor in why Rasheed Davis wanted to come on over here, because he's going to be able to prove to scouts that he can operate in a whole different style of offense where you've got different, really random formations.
Yeah, they're going to try some option, as you see there. There was some triple option right there, so they're not going to be afraid to run that. You would never see Shreveport run that last year with LaDuca. He's going to expand the playbook a little bit, but like we were talking about, he still wants those packages, like, you know, wing bone or, you know, just, you know, the I formation, that type of thing, strong eye. He wants all that stuff in there. So it's going to be a little bit hybrid. Killian wants to do the Ardmore spread offense. LaDuca wants the pro style. They're going to meet each other halfway, try to get Shreveport on track. Odessa State quarterback controversy going on here. New coaching staff, not really though. New leadership at the top. Question is it going to be Dowdell or Johnny Johnson Jr.?
There is a major split between these two guys. 86 throw power, 86 accuracy for Dowdell, and then you've got what the heck was that?
No, the problem is Dowdell's been doing that a lot so far in practice.
Throwing it to oh my God! Where is that going? Are you throwing to X?
Yeah.
So maybe this is the 86 throw accuracy.
But here's what Dowdell might be able to do.
Wow.
Stuff like that.
Only a user can do that, though. But here's Johnny Johnson Jr. with that number 3. Oh, he's got the little low. He's holding the football a little bit lower.
First look at Orlando Austin.
He didn't drop that pass, but Johnson Jr. not able to find the open man here. Takes a sack, so he's not as quick as our boy here. He's not as quick.
Yeah.
As Dowdell. Johnson Jr. is going to find Orlando Austin here. This is the type of offense that I think Johnny Johnson Jr. would fit into. That you can throw with him, you can pass with him, but it's going to have to be like quick passes. Which really, it makes you wonder about how Paris Austin is going to be utilized in this offense. And, you know, he's doing everything he can out there at that on the B.
Are we forcing the ball to Paris, though? That's the question.
He caught that.
He got it. That's a touchdown.
At the pylons. It was a pretty gutsy throw by Johnson Jr. And that's a nice throw by Johnson Jr. to Parks.
Question going to be, can he run the read option, though, as well as Dowdell? That's going to be the question mark here. Braxton says he wants to run the ball more with guys like Orlando Austin. I think Johnson right now is looking better. I think he's winning the job right now. I don't know. What do you think?
I think Johnny Johnson looks a little bit better. I mean, look at that throw. That's right on the dime. Doug Williams with the catch. And it's a big decision because like we mentioned before, you know, if you're Braxton Austin and you know this team is super talented and you're able to progress the program, you don't want to go and start off 0-1.
Okay, let's take a look at the conference outlook. And right now, the voters have stated their opinion. Denver Tech at 1, Midland at 2, Amarillo 3, Nebraska 4, Odessa 5, KMU 6. Now, I think a lot of this, though, is based off of last year's performance. Because right now, if you read the preseason magazines and all the hype right now, they say Odessa is number 2 in the division. However, I think with Kent Collins at Midland State, I think you got to give a slight edge to Midland at least.
Yes, I think that this is a very good conference outlook for the Big 12 West. I would not really move anything around right here because I think that you guys are still going to be playing very well. Odessa State, you know, they're going to be a good team. They are going to be a good team this year. It's just a matter of how much do I like Midland State over them. And do I think Amarillo can keep the momentum moving?
I think Amarillo just run the football this year.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too is I just mentioned that how I probably wouldn't want to switch anything around. Amarillo's pretty young. They got a lot of young defensive starters, and on that offensive line, their left tackle and right tackle, and then a new quarterback with Galveston. There's a little bit of change going on there. If anything, I'd probably move Nebraska State upward, and then Odessa moves upward. That's really the only thing that I could see that I would alter after what I had just said. But
you guys make your selections in the comments. So post your predictions of how you think the standings will end up, and the winners at the end of the year will get a prize.
A team builder prize. It would be merchandise.
Oh,
it would be merchandise. So.
Okay, now let's check out the Big 12 East right now. They voted this as ACU, Ardmore, Little Rock, McAllen, Shreveport, Broken Arrow. So I think really no surprise there, except I thought McAllen might be...
It's tough.
I thought they would be maybe getting more hype than Little Rock, but Little Rock finished the year better and higher ranked. They were inside the top 10 last year, so at season's end. Well, how do you think this is going to shape out? Because Ardmore, you got to defend your national title, and you're missing a couple pieces. You're a little thinner at some positions, like wide receiver.
Well, it's kind of a weird thing, isn't it? Because our team has, it's weird because our team you would think lost a lot. And you'd think that we would be hurting, but we're really not. Our defense is getting better, and our offense is pretty much the same. It's got a couple consistent pieces there with Stanfield and their running backs, Buchanan, Markham, the 2 tight ends. The only real major thing that we are kind of struggling at right now is wide receiver. That's really it. But we didn't utilize wide receivers last year a whole lot anyway, so... If anything, it should be business as usual for Ardmore despite those changes. ACU lost a lot.
But they're still really good on defense.
But they're still good, yeah.
They have some returning experience defensively. So there are a couple new faces last year. I think their big weakness is going to be on the offensive line. I don't think they're going to be... When they play Ardmore, they better hope that they get better by the end of the year. Because I think Ardmore should have their number. And you look at a couple of the better defensive lines in the conference, ACU might struggle against that.
And then when we look at Little Rock and McAllen, we don't know what they think that the final predictions for record is going to be for these two teams. They might be one game difference. You know what I mean? I think that both of these teams, Little Rock and McAllen, could be surprise teams in the East. Obviously, they're very capable of that. They have a lot of playmakers on both sides of the football. Gunnar Rivers being the guy for Little Rock. Buddy Monroe giving them weapons on offense after losing a few pieces. Jason Wilson, the wide receiver, sophomore. McAllen, obviously, with Leroy Jackson, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with the run game.
Shreveport could surprise.
They might, because there's so... It's like when you're talking about the Cleveland Browns thing, there's so much change that it could actually work, but there's also so much change that it could actually be detrimental to the program. We'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen with Shreveport. I like the direction they're going with Rasheed Davis and acquiring him. It's good to see that a guy like that's getting a chance and getting a shot. And he looks like he's got control over this offense. He's smart enough. He gets it. He knows how to handle all of the different formations that they're going to be bringing. It's going to keep teams off balance. You're never going to know what they're going to throw at you when we have to play them.
Yeah.
So.
Broken Arrow, I think expectations are muted this year. I think the fan base, 1 year removed from winning a Big 12 championship, is just saying, win 6 games and get to a bowl game.
It's crazy how the mighty have fallen at that point.
Yeah. So how about predictions here? What do you got here in the East?
I'm going to say Ardmore goes again.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't see anybody else that's going to... I mean, we will have challengers, but I think that we're going to...
But you got to play me?
Mm-hmm.
You got to play ACU, you got to play Denver Tech.
Yep. I still think we're going to do it.
Okay.
I think that we're going to finish in first. I think ACU will finish in second, Little Rock in third. Yeah, McAllen 4, Shreveport 5, Broken Arrow 6.
Wow, really going out on a limb here, man. You're really going on a limb. I'm going to take ACU 1. I think that you will get tripped up. Uh-oh. Because I think your schedule is just a little bit too hard. I think ACU will probably beat you and then earn a tiebreaker. I'll say you lose 1 game.
Wow.
I think ACU will win every other game.
I think if I would be super realistic about it, I think we would probably finish 10-2. But me being the optimist and getting comfortable with this team and with this roster and how I built it, I think that we're going to win it.
All right. I'm going to go ACU. Then I will take Ardmore. I'm going to take McAllen 3. I will go Shreveport 4.
Okay, so
I'll say technically, I think they'll probably tie. Let's say they tie with Little Rock, but they get the tiebreaker. So I'll take Little Rock in 5th, and I'll take Uba 6th. How about Big 12 West? What do you got?
I don't think Midland State has enough on offense, even though their quarterback is really good. Kent Collins is really good. I just don't think their wide receivers, as far as depth goes, not that they're going to need that depth.
Offensive line, too.
The offensive line, they're going to have to really scheme that offense around what Kent Collins is able to do. Actually, it's not even what Kent Collins is able to do, because he can do pretty much everything at a 97. It's what can the players around him do. They have to scheme their offense around them versus their strongest player on offense, which is gonna be hurtful for them. So I don't think they're gonna finish in second. I retract that. I had just talked about the thing about the West, guys, is that's pretty much the one that's really the wild card. It's up for grabs. You could go with anything right now. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I will retract my previous statement about Midland State being the number 2 team. I could be dead wrong about it. I think Denver Tech's going to be the number 1 team. I think that Nebraska State will finish in second. They will finish in second. So you guys are finishing second, and then I'm gonna put Midland State in fourth.
Okay.
Midland State in fourth. Odessa third.
Okay.
Amarillo fourth or fifth, and then Camus sixth.
Okay. I will pick Denver Tech to win. Surprise! I don't think I picked Midland year 3, but every other year I said Denver Tech.
I haven't seen them lose a game in sim, like just straight sim.
Yeah, it has not happened. Denver Tech, I will take to win. Second place, I will select. I'm gonna go Odessa State.
In second?
I'm buying the hype this year.
Oh my god.
I'm buying the hype.
The only reason I picked you to finish in second is because it's Shanowski's final go.
Yeah.
And he had a pretty darn good season, all things considered, last year.
Third place, I'll take Midland State because they do have a pretty easy schedule.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, we have to take that into consideration.
I forgot about that.
But I still think they're going to lose 3 games in conference. I think if Odessa loses 3, Midland loses 3, Odessa maybe gets tiebreaker. Give me Odessa 2, Midland 3. Fourth, I will take Nebraska State. 5, I'm going Camus.
You're picking Amarillo to finish
And
last.
I'll take Amarillo in 6th. But I think it's going to be...
Because they're so young.
Yeah, it's going to be stacked top to bottom. I mean, if Amarillo goes... They're going to go 4-4, 3-5, something like that. Yeah, interesting.
Okay,
Interesting thoughts. Okay, check this out. Week 1. Let's get it underway. We have a Thursday night kickoff game here. Woo-hoo! Kicking off the Big 12 season. Utah State at Nebraska State. What do you think is going to happen here?
I think you guys get the W. It's a C plus team. It's not good enough. Just not good enough. I think you guys will be fine. Shanowski balls out. 500 yards of total offense. Okay. Not Shanowski, but of total offense. You guys are going to be... You guys are killing it. Because that offense is good, guys. Your offense is good. Defense, though, you guys are going to get in shootouts. You guys will get in shootouts this year.
I think the benchmark here, if I can keep Utah State under 24 points, I'm going to consider that a win. Texas A&M going on the road to take ACU. Texas A&M, kind of that legacy program. We see it all the time. Anytime they're playing a team that's above their pay grade, everybody loves to think that's an upset possibility. Are they going to upset ACU here?
I don't... No. Nope, they're not.
That's all you got?
I said that and then I thought, I might have said I don't know.
Problem is I don't have any stats to go off of.
Yeah, you don't need stats. You don't need stats. Look at it. Just think about the matchup here. So can you imagine in your mind, just take a step back. Just imagine in your mind, Joe Russell, dropping back. He fires it out to Jared Kirk. What do you know? Touchdown.
There you go.
It's just easy.
Neutral site game here at the Cowboy Classic. So you're going to Arlington.
Heck yeah.
We got Texas versus Ardmore. Texas, higher rated offense compared to you. What do you think about that?
It's all Stanfield's fault. It
might be your receivers in your
kidding.
O-line.
I'm kidding. It's going to be tough, man. I mean, you think about it, Stanfield hasn't really been able to take that next step. We don't know exactly how much we have in Stanfield. Yeah, he's a 90. He's a good quarterback. But he's only been in games for a very limited amount of time. So I don't really know what we have as far as what he does in game. It's going to be tough. It's a young receiving group. The defense is an A for Texas. We are relying on those young wide receivers to make plays down the field and have enough awareness, know the playbook, know where you're supposed to be. Like, this is going to be a tough matchup. So I say, keep the ball on the ground. Just get out of week 1 alive with a win. And by the time maybe conference play shows up, maybe those receivers are ready and they're comfortable. That's a tough matchup. I say go Ardmore. I say trust in our ground and pound attack. But if you take Texas, you would not be in the wrong.
I'm going to pick Ardmore.
That was pretty simple for you.
Vanderbilt at Odessa State. I picked this game because it was deliciously weird. It's a very weird game.
He's waiting for a reaction from me. I'm not going to give him one.
No. Kirk is picking Odessa State. Who you got? Is the hype real?
Nope. I'm taking Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt's going to win, eh?
I'm taking Vanderbilt because the hype is not real. And there's going to be problems. There's going to be problems for Odessa State if they lose. Because all that hype, all that build-up to lose at home in the opening week of year 5, Braxton Austin Sr. does not get his first win as a head coach in the college football landscape against the smart boys of Vanderbilt.
He's a 3-time state champion.
True.
In high school.
But this is college football.
Ask Todd Dodge or Tony Sanchez how that goes. Actually, Art Briles is pretty good.
And the reason I'm taking Vanderbilt, guys, is simply because the quarterback situation for Odessa is a mess.
Yeah, that is the biggest drawback here. Rumors are they're going to go with Johnny Johnson after what we just saw. That was a little snippet of practice. So Pat Dowdell is going to have to keep working at that wide receiver. Those wide receiver skills. Keep those hands toasty. Okay, Nevada listed as a B-. Are you smelling any upset here against Midland State?
Absolutely not.
You think Kent Collins is going to go all Justin Herbert out in Nevada?
Well, the only problem that I could see is if this 97 overall quarterback starts thinking that he can just sling it all over the field because he trusts his own ability, but then the wide receivers aren't up to his own ability, and they're not there to make the plays that he trusts them to make. So that's like the biggest drawback for me is when that O-line starts to crack. When
they start taking crack?
When that O-line starts to crack, is Kent Collins going to be able to withstand that pressure and deliver a good throw to help his receivers?
Yeah.
That's the big issue for me. I would definitely go with Midland, though.
Definitely go Midland here. Chemistry with the receivers, I think, is the big question mark. Ohio State versus McAllen, and Kirk is picking Ohio State. It's a big surprise there. But they are the number 5 team in the nation for a reason. The question now becomes, McAllen, do they have the chops? Because remember last year, first episode of this offseason, we said Leroy Jackson went 1-4 against top 25 competition. And now in Ohio State, you got the number 5 team in the nation. Neutral site, though, in Houston, so advantage McAllen.
You would think that, yes, it's going to be a very close game, but I will take Ohio State, not because of ranking alone. It's simply because I think that they just have a better idea of what they're doing on offense right now.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say defense. I think Ohio State, I would assume that their defense is going to be better than McAllen's. So I think that's probably going to make the difference. McAllen's played a few Big Ten teams, though. They've beaten Wisconsin. They beat Northwestern, lost to Penn State. But yeah, so they played you played some Big Ten teams, so they know that style.
Right. I just think Ohio State, like to what you said, has a better defense, but they probably have a quarterback that can throw versus what McAllen has with Harkus Blair. They can't really throw the ball. So expect Ohio State to stack the box because they've got that defense. They trust that defense. You could utilize the 2 running back system that McAllen has plus Harkless Blair, but they don't have the weapons outside in order to get the W. I'm taking Ohio State.
I'm taking Ohio State as well. Game of the week here, baby.
Yep. This is going to be an interesting one, guys. A-pluses throughout the board for Denver Tech. A+, A+, A- for Bama. But you got that 99 overall quarterback with Makovich.
Here's the problem. Alabama has been noticeably absent from our dynasty. Because, I mean, you think about, like, where have they been in the BCS chase? Like, they lose, 2 to 3 games every single year.
Right.
Or 4 sometimes. So they really have not been around very often. So the question is, they're coming into this season, I believe last year was their best year so far. So they're coming in with some more hype, like Nick Saban's got them back. Okay, they're an A+. They're coming in ranked 7th. And they got to play Denver Tech, and it's going to be in the South. They're playing in Georgia. What do you think?
Yeah.
I think this might be it. This might be Denver Tech's first non-conference loss.
It's so hard to pick against Denver Tech, though.
Yeah.
It's so hard to pick against them. Their running game is too strong. Makovich is not the same type of runner that Drakeen Timmons ever was. That's not his style. He's going to try to throw it all over you.
This will be his third year starting, though.
It will. It's going to be a really good game.
Yeah.
I will say that much. It's going to be a really good game.
I feel like Denver Tech's going to come out rusty. Makovich is going to make a couple bad interceptions, something weird. I just get that feeling like they're going to disappoint.
And then the last game, it's going to be a intrastate game between two Louisiana products, Shreveport against LSU. LSU, I don't know. It's about even between them and Shreveport, which is surprising to me.
Yeah. The question is, can Shreveport go into Death Valley at night and get a W? I think they can, actually.
You are crazy.
I think they will do it because I believe in the coordinators. We talked about it. Francis Jr. and Killian. And LaDuca letting go of the reins just a little bit, trying to mold his system around his players. And the new quarterback, I mean, we see a lot, like when these transfer quarterbacks come in out of the transfer portal. They enter from another dimension, and they come in, and it's like, it gives a team life. It really can spark an entire program. So I believe that Rasheed Davis coming into Shreveport, a guy that barely anybody has heard of or even knows who he is, even though he's got an immense skill set, I believe that that will take Shreveport over the top. I'm not afraid of LSU, even though they have Alfred Johansson. There's a reason he just recently got hired there. It's because LSU was in the dumps. They're like 5-7, 6-6, whatever they were. I'm not scared of LSU.
Yeah, I mean, when you put it that way, in knowing what Johansson was able to put on the field for Broken Arrow, it wasn't like super dominating. Broken Arrow never dominated anybody when he was there.
Right. He's riding off the coattails of Bryant Street.
Pretty much. And then, I mean, when you look at LSU, yeah, they are improving from when he took over. But again, how much of that is a product of what he's doing versus just brand and the cachet that LSU has amassed over the course of time? I take that back. You're not a crazy person. Shreveport does stand a chance. I just don't think it's going to be enough.
No.
I'm going to go with LSU in this one, just because I think that home crowd is going to be too nutso for them. We're done. Offseason is done.
Thank you.
We're now time to get into the freaking games. So we will see you on Thursday for ACU renaming ceremony. And then on Friday, we are getting part 1 of week 1. Saturday will be part 2 of week 1. So we might as well just tell you guys right here and right now who is scheduled for what day. Week number 1, part 1, Friday, we have.
Well, we're going to kick things off. Utah State at Nebraska State. We got day game action here, Texas A&M and ACU. And then we're going to do Shreveport at LSU. And pretend this game is being played at 8 p.m.
Yeah,
Eastern time.
10 p.m. In Louisiana. What?
Yeah. So we'll do the neutral site games. Will all be in the part 2 video. So you got Texas at Ardmore, Ohio State, McAllen, Alabama, Denver Tech.
And Vanderbilt, Odessa State.
Nope, we're going to send that game.
We're simming that game.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Odessa State will get their day later when they play Notre Dame.
Had I known that, I would have taken Odessa State to win the game.
Well, whatever. they're playing Notre Dame.
Well, now
be down the road.
Well, now you guys know. So that's going to be it for today's episode. I will see you guys on Thursday night for the ACU name live stream. And then Friday, you guys know what action we're going to have. Post in the comment section below your preseason predictions and your standings. And make sure you guys are clicking on that link below as well to make your picks for week number 1. Who do you got as winning each in every game, each matchup. We'll see you guys later on during the week. Leave a like if you like this thing, and as always, if you like it and you love it, you want more of it, hit that red button for subscribe or my logo in the bottom right-hand corner. We'll see you guys then. As always, peace.